Mineral resources benefit nations, mostly through the taxes paid by mining companies. However, society and the mining industry are changing fast. With new times come new expectations.
The future is coming, and it's going to affect all of us.
Automated long-haul rail network. The driverless train
were accused the firm of operating illegally and tax evasion,
which raised profound questions about the future of the Earth's climate.
The IGF and ATAF think it's time to redefine the financial contributions from mining. Let's start from the beginning. What is so unique about natural resources?
Well, natural resources as an economic activity can only really be mined or used once.
Son actividades primarias, son actividades de especial relevancia para la economía a nivel nacional.
A mining operation is a significant and long-term investment, and it starts at exploration, not at production. So, the financial risks and rewards of production are inherently more uncertain than in many other industries.
They are actually finite, and they diminish over time. Therefore, the rent that government gets out of those over a period of time will certainly go down.
What are the issues with the current framework?
Dada la relevancia que tiene para la economía, para la vida de las personas, pues también tendría que ser un sector sumamente transparente, con altos niveles de rendición de cuentas, de gobernanza, y no lo es, ¿no?
If in Australia, some of the largest miners in the world can get away with massive tax evasion as they have, as the Australian Tax Office has now found, what have they been doing across the developed world for the last 20 or 30 years?
Illicit financial flows is the consequence of the biggest income loss on this continent. The biggest part of the money that leaves this continent comes through a practice of tax avoidance. Aggressive tax structures, largely through transfer pricing practices, and these are very common within the resources sector.
Clearly, over-reporting costs, under-reporting production, it's fraudulent activity, and we'd condemn that in all its guises.
The way that the system is designed creates challenges when it comes to implementation, particularly for developing countries or resource-rich developing countries who have limited human and financial resources to effectively administer corporate income taxes in particular.
What should the principles be for rethinking financial benefits from natural resources?
Well, in a fast-changing, disruptive world, you need tax systems which recognise the rapidity of change. And what worked a decade ago or 20 years ago is not going to be working the same in 20 years' time.
There will definitely be a need for greater adaptability in the tax systems itself.
Simplicity, reliability and progressivity are the key features of a good fiscal regime.
Working with country administrations and country officials, helping them strengthen their capacity to deal with these problems.
Sobre el tema de cambio climático también me parece muy importante porque la minería va a ocupar pues un lugar sustantivo en la transición energética, en la extracción de minerales.
You make your own sovereign decision as to what you think is best for your people. And the state participation has worked well for us. But let me also point out that on a day-to-day basis, government doesn't interfere in the running of the company or the state enterprise.
We've got a successful strategic partnership in Botswana that's provided value to the state and to us for many years. So it's certainly clear to us that it can be done in a way that's mutually beneficial for both the host country and the investor.
COVID has also triggered, I think, deeper calls for social change. So the refrain, build back better, the expectation from citizens that governments will take climate change, take inequality seriously. All of these changes and shifts that are happening in society have a bearing on how governments should benefit financially from their mineral resources.
The tax system definitely needs to play its part in the debate around how mining, should deliver to host states and investors in the long term, given all of these trends. And I think that's one of the really good things about the IGF's new project in this area, is that we can all work together to look at these and have a bigger conversation.
The future of resource taxation is prompting a rethinking of resource taxation as we know it, and they want you to join.
The project is seeking to answer two questions. And the first question is, how do we improve the current mining tax system? The second question that we're trying to answer is, what are the alternatives?
The program must achieve, at a macro level, a better understanding of the principles of mineral taxation. We must optimize what we get out of it.
We're going to involve all stakeholders from the very beginning. It's not for IGF and ATAF to come up with a new policy prescription for how minerals should be taxed. We want to hear what is it that countries are already doing themselves. We're going to bring it all together so that governments and the stakeholders that support governments have a broader menu of options to choose from. It's by having a variety of ideas and options that I think governments and citizens can make better choices.
Everybody has a stake in this, everybody has an interest in this, otherwise the future of mineral resources is going to be quite doomed. We don't want that. We can fix that. We can change that. We must do that now.